Okay, so number 4. So we're supposed to simplify these things. So today's plan, we're going to do maybe another 25 minutes of lecture, and then I'm going to hand you the practice exam. You're going to do it for about 40 minutes. This is a quick one. This is our easiest exam. Maybe 40 minutes, not very long. Then I'll go over it for the last 40 minutes. Like that, right? That's the plan. So only about 25 more minutes of talking, and then it's take the practice exam. I'll grade it real quick, give it back to you, then I'll go over it. All right, but normally I'm going to give more time to the practice, and this is by far our easiest exam. So I'm going to try to use as much, in the future I won't use this much time on practice exam day. But this is the easy one. You're all going to ace this one. It's the next ones you need me to go really slow over the practice exam and talk in more detail about it. All right, so just let's take this thing and let's simplify it. What do? We factor, huh? It's just 2 factoring questions, really, isn't it? It's just factor the top, factor the bottom. So what multiplies to be 2 adds to be minus 3. That's what we're looking for there. So what 2 numbers multiply to be 2? What times what is 2? 1 times 2 or 2 times 1 is really the only option, huh? Yeah, and how do they add to be negative 3? Both negative, right? If you lose $1 and lose $2, you lost $3. And 2 negatives multiply to be positive 2, don't they? So it is correct. Good there. How about the bottom? Multiply to be negative 3, add to be 2. So what 2 numbers multiply to be negative 2, or negative 3? 3 times 1 is 3. How do they add? Remember, the sign in the middle tells you the sign story, right? Be good with that? So the sign in the middle is plus 2. How can a 3 and 1? Sign in the middle always goes on the bigger. Goes on the 3, huh? Sign in the middle, it's on the bigger. Plus 3 minus 1 makes plus 2 in the middle. And they multiply to be negative 3. That's good. And now what can I do from there? These will cancel. So we have y minus 2 over y plus 3. You don't need the parentheses anymore. There's nothing to separate them from anymore. And that's it. I'm done. That's the answer. Why is it I can't cancel those y's? The glue thing, right? The pluses and minuses glue things together, which means if you want to cancel anything on the top, you cancel all of it or none of it, right? It's a glued package. You can't just take part of it. It's all or nothing glued together, and so we just take nothing. So there we go. Is that good? So it's really just factoring, isn't it? It's just 2 factoring questions. Okay, so number 5 here. Okay, so, yeah, remember with fractions when they're multiplying, you can cross-cancel things? So what my point is in that is you can totally just cross-cancel these guys. They're just out of there. They match. You can cross-cancel. Now, hey, no, wait a minute. What about my glue rule and the plus sign and everything? I bought the whole package, right? Costco will let you buy the whole package, right? That's okay to do. I didn't take just the 2. Or just the 18, or just the X. I took the whole package. That's okay. Plus and minuses glue things together. You can take the whole package or none of it. Just can't take part, right? Okay, so what about the other thing? What about the X to the 6th here and the 2X to the 9th? Can I cancel out those X's? No. Well, is there any glue left? Is there any glue anywhere? There's no glue. Totally you can. Totally. X to the 6th goes into x to the 9th, leaving x to the 3rd. 2x to the 3rd is all that's left on the bottom. Nothing's left on the top, so we put a 1. We're done. Yeah. Does that make sense on that? You see that? Why it was okay to cancel that x to 6? Because these guys were not glued, right? So it's okay to cancel them. When they're just times next to each other, you can cancel them. And the powers subtract. X to the 6th over 2x. So if you want me to rewrite it more slowly, it really means 6 x's, doesn't it? And the x to the 9th really means 9 of them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So really, this is, if you wanted to write it out, I'm sure you don't, all that way. That's really what happened, huh? All those x's canceled, and there were 3 left over on the bottom. Good? All is well. So just subtract the powers. And wherever the bigger power is, like if the bigger's on the bottom, that's where the leftover ends up, huh? If there's more on the top, leftovers on the top. More on the bottom, leftovers on the bottom. Okay, so try that one, number 6. Oh, maybe I'll rewrite it here. So this one's a bunch of factoring, right? Got a factor. Those 2 on the left. So factor that x squared minus 81. And that 3x plus 21. Just want to point out Roberto before he leaves. There's Roberto. He's here checking in, and so he'll be a very helpful tutor. Go see him if you need help. His arrows are the back, right? That left back board size. Those are all, and you can go to any of his, even if it's 4B. He tutors for all my classes, but you can go to any of those 4B, 4A, 103, any of those times. He'll be there, and he will help you. Okay, so how do we factor x squared minus 81? Difference of squares. It's a double-double or an FL, whatever you want to call it. XX99. FL, it's like the FOIL without the OI. So it's x plus 9, x minus 9. The 3x plus 21, how do we factor that? Pull out the GCF, the 3. Very good. Okay, and then where do we go from here? Yeah, cross cancel, huh? Boom, 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 boom. What are we left with? X plus 9 over 3. Can I go 3 into 9? No, because of the glue on the top. If that was 9, if it was 9x over 3, I could totally cancel those, huh? And have a 3 left. But the pluses and minuses wreck it. So there it is. Good? Easy enough? Questions on that one? And you don't need the parentheses anymore because there's nothing to separate it from anymore, huh? All right. Okay, what do you, that's I don't know if you can see it. It's dividing in the middle. Let me make it a little bigger. 18x to 7th over 2y 7th divided by 81x to the 3rd over 6y squared. Okay, what do you do with dividing? Yeah, you flip, and it's got to be the one on the right, huh? You flip the one on the right. Yeah, we call it invert and multiply. So invert the one on the right and change divide. Here, I'll bring it down a little further to times. So, and then the left one doesn't flip. The left one stays as it is. But the one on the right flips. 6y squared over 81x cubed. Yeah, then it's just a times problem. You know what to do from there. Go ahead. Do your cross-canceling, right? Like 18 and 81. What goes into both 18 and 81? What can you do? Because 18 doesn't go into 81, but what number goes into both of them? 9, right? Yeah, so divide them both by 9 on your calculator. Or if you just know by off the top of your head. Yeah, so do all the cross-canceling you can. So divide both these guys by 9, leaves a 2, leaves a 9, right? For example. I just divided those both by 9. Keep going. Subtract the powers. Wherever the bigger power is where the leftovers are. Two goes into 6 3 times. You could actually do one more cancellation, huh? I mean, with the numbers. 3 goes into 9. You just keep going and going and going with the numbers. So now I'll go 3 goes into 9 3 times. Did you see all that? So what numbers are left? 2 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Want me to I can redo the numbers in a minute. And then what's going to happen with the x's? We have x to the 7th on the top, x to the 3rd on the bottom. So they'll subtract. The bigger one's on the top, so x to the 4th on the top. When it comes to the y's, the y to the 7th, the bigger one's on the bottom, they'll subtract. y to the 5th on the bottom. There it is. Do you want me to go over those numbers again real quick? Show you how that happened. So, I guess I got to rewrite them so they're not crossed out. So the numbers were 18 and 2, 6 and 81. Yeah. Okay, so, so what happened is there's a lot of ways you could go here, all kinds of ways. I'll just do the same thing. And I just divide them both by 9. Right? Divide by 9. I'm going to write that. It'll get confusing. Divide by 9 leaves a 2, leaves a 9. I just divided both, cross-canceling. Divide them both by the same number. And then I went, okay, you can just go 2 cancels 2. How about that? Anything in the top with anything in the bottom, diagonal or straight up and down, that match, you can cancel. Does that make sense? There's no glue here. Nothing's plus or minus, no glue. So I'm canceling. And now, what goes into, right now I have 6 over 9, but what goes into both 6 and 9? 3 does. 3 goes into 6. 3 goes into 9. So if I divide by 3 and divide by 3, 6 divided by 3, 9 divided by 3. Same answer found a different way. Does that make sense? Just keep dividing the numbers straight up and down or diagonal. Top to bottom, anywhere. Straight up and down or diagonal. Just keep reducing the numbers. Is that good? Questions on that? All right. I'm going to start section 5 too. I want to start it. All right. So, what do we got here? So, this, do you see the dividing there? Yeah, I made that pretty big. Okay. This is over 1 right now. Any whole number or whole expression, is over 1. Here's the dividing symbol. So the thing on the right of the dividing, this thing right here, is going to invert, isn't it? Does that make sense? That's going to invert, and it's going to become times. So r squared minus 4p squared over r plus 2p. And this is 1 over r plus 2p. You don't need all those parentheses. I don't know why they put all those in there. Is that good so far? I just changed this dividing to multiplying. So anything that comes right after a divide gets flipped, and we change to times, right? Anything that comes right after a divide, we flip and change to times. Good so far? Now, this r squared minus 4p squared, this guy, I can factor him, huh? He's factorable. So he's going to become, you see, it's a double-double, right? RR, 2p, 2p. So it's r minus 2p, r plus 2p. I'm kind of running out of room there. Right, r minus 2p, r plus 2p. Is that good? Times. Right, that's the factoring for r squared minus 4p squared. It's an FL, double-double. And then just go ahead and cancel anything top to bottom. Straight up and down or diagonal. Either way is totally acceptable. Give you a second to finish that up. Is that good? So r minus 2p, r minus 2p, r plus 2p, r plus 2p. Or you could have canceled the other one, but you can't cancel both. It's just one thing on the top with one thing on the bottom. So what are we left with? 2p over r plus 2p. And can I cancel those two p's? No, the glue on the bottom, huh? So you can't do it. So that's just it right there. Is that good? Those rules making sense? This one did? Does it make sense now?
Well, yeah.
Sorry, I signed it ahead of time. Is that good? All right, let's